October 3rd, 2023, a Reddit user known as Blonde in the Woods shared a video originally recorded in 2021, depicting the interior of a private residence. According to the uploader, the home had once belonged to her husband's close friend, who sold the property following a divorce. Several months after the new owners moved in, a former neighbor contacted the previous homeowner with an unsettling question. Had he ever experienced anything unusual while living there? The inquiry came after the new owners captured something strange on a camera they had installed in their living room and wanted to know if the house had a history. The video they provided appears to show a small, childlike figure sprinting into a room on the upper floor. More disturbing still, a faint voice can be heard that seems to shout, "Help!" At the time of the recording, no one was home. Although the couple did have children, the house was empty. In addition, an odd crackling noise echoes through the audio, resembling the sound of hurried footsteps. Several small orbs also appeared to drift past the camera. After reviewing the footage, the former homeowner shared his own recordings with the new owners. Clips captured during his time in the house that also showed unexplained orbs. At the time the Reddit post was made, the uploader stated that the new owner's marriage had since collapsed. The couple were divorcing, and the house had once again been put up for sale. On September 10th, 2017, a user known as the Highway 9 uploaded a video to a now inactive channel, otherwise filled with mundane content, clips of pets, cars, and video games, with nothing suggesting an interest in the paranormal. The footage documents a solitary hike that leads to the discovery of a cave. Curious, the uploader decides to explore. The video opens as he steps inside, illuminating the narrow passage ahead. Along the way, he notices a water-filled hole in the ground and tosses a rock into the darkness below, listening as it disappears into the water. He continues forward, then turns the camera to reveal that his German Shepherd has followed him inside.
Out. Come here. Come on. Come on.
He calls for the dog to stay close. Moments later, the passage splits. The dog is suddenly gone. The uploader calls out its name, his voice echoing unanswered through the cave.
Misty.
After a tense stretch of silence, the dog reappears from the shadows. Relieved, the uploader chooses the path to the right. The tunnel ends abruptly in a dead end, where bats cling to the ceiling and flutter through the air. He retreats, passing a large centipede crawling along the cave wall, an unsettling reminder of how untouched and hostile the place truly is. Back at the fork, he takes the remaining path. His breathing grows heavier as he advances slowly, each step more cautious than the last. Then he stops.
What the fuck is that? Oh, shit. Go. Come on, Missy. Come on, Missy.
Something stands ahead in the darkness. Unsure of what he's seeing, he moves closer. The shape resolves into a tall, black figure with a pale, white face, motionless and watching. The uploader panics, turns, and runs.
Come on, Missy. Come on, Missy.
It's unknown who or what the figure was. In South Africa, in the 1950s, members of the Zulu community reported sightings of a mysterious entity in the sky known as the lightning bird. Around the same period, a woman named Elizabeth Klarer, who lived on a family farm in Natal, claimed she witnessed a spacecraft descend onto a nearby hilltop. According to her account, she was taken aboard the craft and encountered a humanoid being named Akon, said to originate from the planet Meton in the Alpha Centauri star system. Klarer alleged that she developed a prolonged, intimate relationship with Akon, and that the two conceived a child during her visits to Meton. She further claimed Akon explained that women from Earth were occasionally taken as partners, as the resulting offspring strengthened their species through genetic diversity. On April 30th, 1956, witnesses reported a steady red glow at the same hilltop where the UFO took Klarer previously. The light reportedly remained visible until around 2 a.m., yet no evidence of fire or human activity was found the following morning. 3 months later, on July 17, 1956, Klarer returned to the site and photographed what she described as Akon's scout craft using a simple brownie box camera borrowed from a family member. She claimed the disc-shaped object silently maneuvered over a nearby rise for nearly an hour, weaving back and forth and reflecting bright sunlight like polished silver before suddenly accelerating out of sight. Skeptics later argued that the photographs depicted nothing more than a car hubcap tossed into the air. However, Pretoria-based ufologist Edgar Sievers challenged this explanation, stating that Klarer's family had seen her leave the homestead alone, and noted that, given her frail condition, it would have been difficult for her to throw a hubcap while simultaneously photographing it. Sievers also maintained that no known hubcap from that era closely matched the shape and appearance of the object shown in the images.
When suddenly I saw this flash in the sky, and then from behind a cloud, this enormous spaceship appeared, and she came down and hovered to about the height of that lower window there, to the lower point, straight in front of me, and the long seeding grass beneath was flattened and agitated as she hovered over it. And I noticed I stood my ground because I couldn't go any further. I couldn't go near her. That was like a wall coming down that was invisible. You couldn't push against it. And as she hovered there, the light from her was so bright, it wasn't the reflection of the sun off the skin of the ship. It was her own light that affected my eyes. But there she was. I could see her despite the fact that the enormous hull was spinning and the dome in the center was stationary. There were 3 portholes on my side that I could see through, and standing at the center porthole was a tall man. And he was standing there with his arms folded across his chest, just looking back at me. And I stood my ground and looked back at him. And I was so fascinated that I could see clearly, despite the haze around the ship. I could see his face. I never hesitated. I ran straight to him, down that rough slope. I felt as if I had wings to my feet. I never even tripped over these great tufts of grass and stones and rocks and all sorts of things. And I held out both my hands to him. He just picked me up, stepped onto the hull of the ship, and in through the door. It was open halfway between the dome and the hull. And as he walked through, I glanced back over his shoulder and saw the doors close together, and they just sealed, and there was a circular wall. You couldn't see where a door was. And sitting at the controls was another man, and I remember his flashing smile. And as he set me to the floor, which was covered with the most glorious rose-red carpeting, type of springy carpeting. And the first thing I did was to go straight to the porthole to look out, because I could feel this. There was a vibration coming through the floor. And as I approached the porthole, it just closed like that in front of me, and the whole wall was just smooth, shiny, curved wall. And then the tall man came to me, picked me up again as if I was a feather, and sat me down on the bench. There was a half-moon bench, this side and that side. And in the center like that was the viewing lens. A most beautiful viewing lens that came up almost to the height of the globe. And it was a golden crystal. And it was half into the floor. And encircling it was a band of gold, pure gold. And he gently said, "Look into the viewing lens and you will see everything." And there was just the scene of everything. I could see above, below, and to the side, in all directions, as if I wasn't in a spaceship. And I realized that the walls were changing color as we were moving, changing color like you've got here, the rainbow colors. And the circular smooth walls, and the colors were beautiful. Then there was this great dome above, and that was also changing color. And the light simply came from the walls and the dome. There were no separate electric lights at all. The whole lighting system just emanated from the walls and the dome. And there were certainly no separate lights. And there were no cables or anything to connect it. It really was the most beautiful sight. And then I spent the whole day with them. They took me with them and brought me back again that late evening. And after that, I had 9 wonderful years of Earth time with Arkin. That was his name.
For more episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications.